Well, the Evolved Goblin Drill is finally out. It came out yesterday. There was an offer for it in the shop, and I wanted to test it out today in a couple decks to see if it's still really strong, because if you guys didn't hear, it actually got a nerf before it ended up getting released because they realized it was absolutely broken. So now every time it spawns in, you only get one goblin that ends up spawning when it resurfaces instead of two, because two was absurdly broken. But I still think even after the nerf, it is still very strong. So the first deck I'm running it in here is actually just a cycle deck with the cannon, because I feel like the cannon goes really well with the Goblin Drill as well as the Mighty Miner. And we also got Mighty Miner for the Mega Knight, which I feel like is really good, especially if he doesn't have a reset to it. So we'll see if he does. Okay, yeah, he actually has an E-Wiz. So we're going to need to do a poison here. And then I think, wow, he actually went in for a Firecracker. I was not expecting that. So let's go in for Skellies. Oh, wait, we actually got that down late. That was a bit of a slip up on my end. He just went for a Rage, though, that didn't do very much. So I think we're going to go in for Wall Breakers behind the Mighty Miner. And we'll see if we can get something going here, because if he doesn't have a good response, it might be annoying for him to deal with. Nah, he does have Barbarians, but we can go ahead and send the Mighty Miner into the opposite lane. And then probably just go for a Log here to clean this all up. And then just going for Skeletons here on top of the Bandit. And this should be pretty easy peasy defense. So even though the start wasn't that good, I think it's not an awful situation, because we ended up getting some damage back with that Mighty Miner. I know what he's using now, so we know what to expect as well. So I think going forward, we should be able to come back hopefully without a major issue. We can go in for an Ice Spirit here to pressure, and he's going to go in for a Mega Knight. So I want to go in for a Goblin Drill, because I want to cycle back to the Mighty Miner, ideally, for this Mega Knight. He's going to go in for a Firecracker, and the Evolved Wall Breakers are coming in. Both of them are going to end up connecting, which is really, really good. I think we can just go in. Okay, let's go in for a Cannon here. And then we're going to try to get Skeletons going, and then we're going to get the King activated. And as you can see, Mega Knight is going to go in for the King Tower, would log back the E-Wiz so that way it doesn't keep damaging the tower, and then send the Mighty Miner into the opposite lane, and then follow up with a Drill with the Mighty Miner to make this more annoying for him to defend. He's probably going to go for Evolved Barbs here, if I had to guess. Yeah, he is, so we can just go in for a Poison on top of the Evolved Barbarians, and just like that, in a really good position this match. Even though he had a pretty good start, we ended up getting a really nice King activation off of the Mega Knight, and now we have a really good lead. So we can just go in for Wall Breakers here to pressure, and as you can see, we do have the Evolved Goblin Drill in cycle. I don't honestly know how he's going to be able to defend it with the deck he's using, and I think it really goes to show the Evo Drill is just going to be really broken if you don't have very specific responses. For example, if you don't end up having like a Bowler or something like a Dark Prince, it's really difficult to deal with. As you can see, he went in for an E-Wiz and Barbarians, and it still dealt so much damage, which is just pretty ridiculous. So now at this point, we pretty much just need a cycle. He's going to go in for a Mega Knight here, so we'll just go in for an Ice Spirit, going for Skeletons, going for a Mighty Miner, and yeah, this guy's just got a mid-ladder Menace deck at this point. We'll go in for a Cannon here. We need to get an Ice Spirit going. Let's just be a little cautious, and then if we send in a Drill here, I think this should be pretty decent, and then we might get a good poison value potentially. He's going to go in. Yeah, this is an amazing poison value. Oh my goodness, Barbarians and the Phoenix. There we go. Angry Face comes out. He was happier earlier in the match, but that changed pretty quickly. I'm going to try the Evolved Goblin Drill now in the second deck variation here. You can see it's got the Bomb Tower, the Magic Archer, and the Tornado. I think this will be pretty solid. And you also got the Spear Goblins in the deck, which are a lot better now that the Duchess got nerfed. And also because, if you guys remember, recently the Spear Goblins got a buff. So now I feel like they're really going to shine, especially if they pair well with the Evolved Goblin Drill. This is kind of the Remieli deck, but basically Drill instead of the Miner. So he's got the Hog Rider. We're going to get a Tornado going here. This is another reason why I think this deck honestly could be really good in this meta, because I feel like going to be a lot of people running the Hog, because Hog is just significantly better, and he's laughing here. So I don't know if that's a sarcastic laugh or if he's laughing, because I don't really know. Either way, though, he's definitely getting a bit emotional. He's going to go in for a Mega Knight, so another person running Mega Knight. We're going to go in for a Drill here and go in for Spear Goblins. I wasn't lying, guys, when I made that video a little while ago saying that Mega Knight is a lot better now, because it actually is. I mean, it's actually really solid now. So let's see. It's just a Mega Knight Hog deck. We're going to go in for a Valkyrie here, and we need to get Skeletons on top of the Prince, and then let's get a, we're going to need a NATO this, I feel like, and then we need to log that Prince, and then get Spear Goblins down so the Prince doesn't charge, and we are going to, oh my goodness. Wow. 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 I was not expecting a freeze. Holy smokes, I was not expecting that. Okay, a little bit of a rocky start. That freeze was honestly a very good play on his end. It caught me off guard. We're going to go in for a drill here. This is going to just try to hopefully force a big response out of him. Yeah, he's going to go in for a Mega Knight, which is completely fine with me because that's a lot of elixir he had to commit there. So I'd say let's set up with a Bomb Tower. We played in this lane because if he decides to go Hog on the right, that's completely fine. So we're going to go in for a Valkyrie here. And then I think we want to try to get Evo Skellies on top of this. He's likely going to zap, but I still think it's a decent play. And then now he doesn't have zap for the Spear Gobs. And if he decides to get a freeze, I'll just NATO it away. And he's not going to this time, sure enough. So let's go in for a Goblin Drill here. And then I think we just NATO the Hog. Should be decent defense. And wait, he's going to go in for a Prince. But yeah, that's not going to be a great counter to the Drill. It's going to respawn a bunch of times. And even though he went in for a Bomber, look at how much damage we still got. I feel like it's just impossible to defend, even when they go in for a ton of counters on it. So let's go in for Skeletons here. And I think we need to NATO this. Yeah, and then we need to go in for a defensive Drill. I think it's honestly necessary just with all this stuff going on. And let's see, he's going to go in for a Prince. I thought he was actually going to freeze, but he decided to go in for a Prince instead, which I actually think helped us out. Let's go in for Skeletons here, and then go in for a Valkyrie. Yeah, I really do genuinely think if he decided to freeze, I would have been screwed there, and that probably would have been game. So let's send in the Drill. He's going to go in for a Hog, so we need to get a Bomb Tower going, and then we just NATO on those bats, and that should be completely fine. Yeah, I just want to NATO. I don't know if I actually needed it, but I did it just in case, because if he decided to go freeze with the bats, I could have lost the game right then and there. So let's go in for Spear Goblins here. He's going to get a Bomber going. Let's see. Yeah, nice. We are going to get the respawn. Even with him going in for the Bomber, oh my gosh, the Evo Skellies are not balanced. That is ridiculous. So he's going to go in for a Hog here. We need to get a Log going on this for sure. And then I think that Hog is going to get defended really easily. He goes in for a Mega Knight, not before he takes a ton of damage, though. And this is pretty much game 100% because I can just go Magic Archer here, line up, NATO that. And yeah, there's no way he's going to defend it. Pretty much impossible. And yeah, he is not very happy. And I decided, guys, to close out the video, let's look at the stats of the Evolved Goblin Drill, how many people are running it inside of the top 200, because it's a pretty good way to grasp how strong a card is, or the evolution. So 37, in my mind, that doesn't seem ridiculously broken, because that's about 20% of the top 200, give or take. And there also could be recency bias, as in there's a lot of people running it because it recently came out. But you could also make the argument because you have to spend money and pay for it, that's quite a lot, considering there's a lot of people having success with it and not everyone is able to afford it. So it's pretty hard to say. Also, it is pretty versatile because a lot of people running it at the moment are using it in a different deck. So that means there's so many different things you could use in, which could contribute to it being pretty broken. But I guess only time will tell if it's going to end up being one of the most broken evolutions or not. Either way, though, guys, that's going to be about it for the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe. If you guys are not subscribed already, you can also use creator code BOSS to support me in any Supercell game. In my next video, I might actually talk about kind of a little bit of a, I wouldn't call it a scam, but I saw some people who bought the Evolved Goblin Drill offer actually didn't get it right away, and then when they messaged support complaining about it, they only got 20 gems in compensation, which is absolutely horrendous, so I might talk about that in my next video. But either way, thanks again until next time, guys.